Okay, so for this event, I've gone ahead for 3D printing. Spent a lot of time 3D printing. First time with a 3D printer. It's gone ahead. It's over there. You can see it in the background here. So I started. Originally, I wasn't going to do this, and I was inspired by an older project of mine that I had done a long time ago. This bad boy here is about 10 years old. I found it in my electronics drawer. I usually keep this sort of stuff. Batteries completely kaput, whatever. This was pretty simple. This was just a bunch of resistors to create a constant current source, well, to create current, a bunch of LEDs, and I would wear this underneath, and then when through clothing, it kind of looked like there was an arc reactor. Now that I have a 3D printer, the technology's gotten a lot better. I went ahead and I fully printed an arc reactor. Just a regular, it's actually a belt, an elastic, stretchy belt. Multiple parts here out of a few different types of plastic. We have clear to go ahead and create a lens that diffuses actually pretty nicely. We got a bunch of silver, a few other things, and created some electronics to go in this. And this originally is a model that I found and I finished a little bit, and I had to tweak the model to create space for the electronics. The original design of this just used a bunch of LEDs, again, very much like this, but I wanted something a little bit better. So this is powered on lithium-ion battery, lithium polymer battery, sorry. Microcontrollers here, supports Bluetooth Low Energy. There's a bunch of LED strips, smart things in the back with a really convenient one-wire interface. So now I can go ahead and let's get this thing buttoned up. Yep, it all locks in, and then it bolts together. So I can drop a bolt in here. This took some tweaking, right? To get everything to fit, I had to print that the same part quite a few times. Had to tweak them all. It's really neat to see everything start as a drawing in a computer, kind of like software. I mean, I'm used to that as being a software engineer, but it's still a little bit different to see, you know, I press a couple buttons and a computer, a robot essentially, starts making a part in the real world. That's quite a bit different than dealing with virtual cloud stuff that doesn't exist. So I've gotten this bolted together. I can see I can put it on. Now, it does strap on, yeah. Woo-hoo. You know, so this would go there, obviously be under a shirt if it was for full cosplay sort of thing. Now I'm going to try to do this, we'll see how it goes. Since it is controlled by Bluetooth Low Energy, I can go ahead and connect to it with an app. The app is actually from the company that makes this board. It's just a demo app that allows you to interact with the system, and you can write code to do animations and things like that, so that I can go ahead and I have color support. I can do full animation, full RGB. This is a set of RGB pixels. There's no explicit white. It can do white by turning on all the pixels, and I also can go ahead and choose kind of whatever color I want. So go ahead, I can select a color here, anything I'd like. What's also neat about that, if I put this down, now I can control this from my watch. So I can go ahead and go to the companion app for that application. I can go to a color picker, and I can choose, let's say, a palette. Now if we want a nice multi green, there we go. It's all controlled. This is controlling everything. It does pull a bit of current, so this actually gets a little bit warmer than the stuff I'm about to show you internally, but it works pretty well. I would take that off now. And it is completely self-contained. It's a little thicker because I had to make it so I can fit all the electronics inside. So that's that. Then we get to the one that was quite a bit more challenging. This had 6 parts, and since there was a lot of common colors and things like that, I can combine some of the prints. So this was simpler to both construct, both as models and printing and putting it together, and the electronics. So it's just a couple of wires, a single microcontroller, and we're good to go. That brings us to, let me just put this on preemptively. What does Iron Man have? What makes Iron Man Iron Man? It's not just the heart piece. Tony Stark and I could have hidden that, but no, what makes him is when he needs a flight stabilizer. So that brings us to the gauntlet. This is 17 or something parts. I had to print them, had to tweak the models, almost every single one, to be able to fit my hand with this glove on, because that's really what ties it all together. Then there's a lot more electronics going on in here. You can see some of the details. There is a battery, microcontroller, same family of microcontroller, but this one doesn't have Bluetooth Low Energy. I have a bunch of LEDs in here to light this bad boy up, and I'll show you that in just a second when I put it on. I also have a soundboard to actually play sound. I can upload the audio files from my computer directly onto that board and trigger them. There's a Class D, I think it's Class D amplifier in here, an 8-ohm speaker, a accelerometer, magnetometer combination. And there's a lot of stuff in there. Plus, unlike the arc reactor, I couldn't just make it thicker, right? They're moving parts. So we'll go ahead and let's get this on. There's a little bit of finesse involved. Obviously, because there's all these parts that are attached together, and I don't want to just rip out all the electronics. That would be bad. But it fits. I was able to get on pretty quickly. Done this a few times. So, okay. Oh, I missed a part. Well, I'll put this on. Yeah, let's fix that. So, unfortunately, yeah, this is a separate part, which means I can't forget it. That I think really sells the whole idea as an actual unit. So now I've got that back panel on. I can quickly get back into this thing. You see, it's not that bad. Granted, this is my first time doing anything like this, and I've never made a gauntlet, never done 3D printing. Before about 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, the 3D printer is all new. Had to get that all adjusted, figure out how to do it. Even painting and finishing this, I've never done anything like that before. But yeah, this is all finished, painted by hand. Well, of course by hand, there's no 3D printing machine, painting machine, but there we go. So now we have a real glove. I went battle worn as if it was used. I tried to imagine that this basically fell out of the sky out of some sort of battle or something, so it actually has been used a little bit. You can see some of the details here. Like some more, well, this has been used. This has gone through battle. It's seen some stuff. I can go ahead and tuck this battery away now, and let's turn this bad boy on. So it does play sounds, and let's. I'm not sure if you could hear that very well, but it's a calibrating environment, turning a system on, and so now it's lit. The camera doesn't show very well. It actually is changing brightness and flickering and kind of seeing it live. I didn't do that for the arc reactor. And now when I pick my hand up, it'll charge, fire, play the sounds, do all that fun stuff. Let me tuck the battery away here. And then if I put my hand down, it'll shut off. And I can, it all charges itself. It's all, like I said, pretty self-contained. I could futz with these pieces a little bit more and the fit to sell it a little bit better and get it a little bit more compact. But you can see the idea here. And it'll keep doing that as long as it's up. It detects the orientation, and I can basically puppet it. So we got this guy, Bluetooth Low Energy, relatively simple and straightforward. This one was about 2 or 3 times the amount of printing time alone. Then we had all the finishing, weathering, all the electronics. Took a little while, especially to get everything in there and fitting and be able to actually wear it. And then I can turn off the sound also, so this way I can just actually, well, turn off please. There we go. So yeah, now the sound's off, but it'll still do the animations of the lights. And the camera probably doesn't do a great job of capturing the brightness of this thing with auto balance and brightness detection and all that sort of stuff. This is really bright. I can light up almost the entire room when the lights are off, especially when it's doing its actual firing. And you definitely don't want to shine this at someone's face. It'd be kind of annoying and would be very uncomfortable. But this is the Gauntlet, and we got the Gauntlet, arc reactor, and of course the original right here. Inspired the whole thing. It's been a load of fun. I really enjoyed doing this project. It's really nice and neat to see all this stuff come out. So come check us out. There's going to be, I think, an event in the next couple days. You can see this thing, see all the details that went into it. So the actual light works better with human eyes, obviously, than the camera. And that's it. Thanks for checking us out.